I need you to listen closely to what I'm going to say because it's serious. Okay, JD Prance is trying to garner support for his 2028 run. That's why he was on that podcast yesterday. He's going to try and take all the energy of this movement or anger, and he's going to try and garner that into his own little cult following, because it's very hard for him to get people on the right to follow him right now. Like in the last poll, Gavin Newsom would beat him if he ran right now. So he's trying to use all the outrage, all the pain, all the suffering to be like, I'm going to lead you through this. We can do this together. They should never have done that. And he's trying to do the other as strong and as hard as he can. Now, he doesn't have the support of a lot of people on the right, like the Groypers, that group, which will probably continue to grow after what happened. They despise Vance. They loathe him. They loathe Peter Thiel. They loathe all the tech bros. They loathe Vance's wife. And a lot of people in general just didn't like him. He gives them the ick. So the only thing JD's ever really good at is tapping into hatred. If you notice, remember in the White House when they were having that conversation with Zelensky and he jumped in like, why don't you thank the president? Like, he's just a little turd and he doesn't know how to like ingratiate himself to people. He's not likable. He's like barely pretending to be a person. So this is his only real chance to just try and grab something that's already going and try and stoke the fire of it and try and ride that to 2028. Now, every time you guys post antagonistic things, you are helping him. Imagine helping JD Vance. Get serious, people, because while it is valid to feel what you feel about what happened, it is it's a strategic mistake to place that joy on here. It is a mistake to be in their face about it, because what they have seen of him, whether you like to believe this or not, is a very curated view of the guy from Utah, right? They saw a loving man that was a God-fearing Christian. Like, I've seen some of the videos they've shown, like, but this is who he was. And I'm like, that's like a spiritual message anyone would say that sounds kind. But when we said, well, what about this? They went, I never heard him say that. And that's exactly the point. The right hears a very curated version of Trump, of all the people. They hear these good, kind messages. They hear strength. They hear, we're here to protect you. We're going to make things better. You don't see their FYP. You don't see the channels that they see that are curated to what, they need to be told to keep believing in this. However, the mistake we're making is keep talking about it. I'm talking about it and then stop talking about it because you are helping JD and Trump. Okay? But the mistake that JD's doing right now is he's using rhetoric as about doxing and freedom of speech. Who are just the diehard freedom of speechers? It's people on the right because they like to be loose with their language, right? So while he's saying that, and it might feel good in the moment, a lot of them are like, yeah, but freedom of speech? Like, because we want freedom of speech too. Pam Bondi was attacking, like, we're going to get them all. They're not allowed to say these things. And there's people on there from the right attacking Pam Bondi going, yeah, don't you go after freedom of speech? Because they're very aware that they are going to lose midterms, or the likelihood is very high. And they know that all the stuff that's being used could be flipped on them because they don't know who will be running for president. And they know that we're angry. So they are being authentic, most of them, when they're saying they think that both sides should be able to say what they want as far as freedom of speech. So everything JD's doing is going to end up backfiring on him. That being said, you need to stop carrying the water. You need to stop reacting every time they do this. Because I told you, the mission never changes. It doesn't matter what they throw at us. There's going to be other events that are going to come up that they're going to try and harness and generate energy to get through midterms in 2028. Do you want to be a part of that? I don't. I want to focus on ICE. I want to focus on the goons out there. I want to focus on mudding up the waters. I want to focus on making the gears sticky that are trying to move. I want to focus on every company that is helping them. I want all of their stores I don't want them running very well. I want all those carts that people push, they fall apart. I want it to be difficult to get in their parking lots. Do you know what I'm saying? There's things that we can be doing all the time that have nothing to do with being chronically online and talking shit to people that are in a cult who think we want to hurt them. Save that energy for ICE. Save it for the companies that are supporting all of this. Leave them alone. They are grieving something that they believe is true. You screaming and yelling at them only makes them feel like that we are like what happened to him, and we want that to happen to them the same. So you have to be smarter than your emotions, right? We have to stick with facts, not our feelings. You want to smile about it? That's fine. Flip off your phone and smile. Otherwise, you are helping JD Vance. And I really don't want you to.